session, please feel free to of our past Vishwa talks on very interesting topics. We have the topics are generally for half an hour. So don't expect that it will be an in-depth knowledge, but just an introduction to certain topics which are very important for us. Today on Vishwa Talks, we will be discussing a very special topic pertinent to each of us, no matter which field we are in, no matter which topic interests us. This touches our daily life. It is awareness on cyber crimes. Our speaker for today's Vishwa Talks, Dr. G.K. Goswamy ji, will lead us through a very thought-provoking session in just a few moments. He served more than 7 years on deputation to the Government of India in various capacities, such as Joint Director, Anti-Corruption Headquarters Zone, Lucknow Zone of Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI India. Till March 31st, 2022, he served as the Chief of Anti-Terrorism Squad, ATS, of the state of UP, in the rank of Additional Director General of Police. Before we get started, I would like to inform our audience that our speaker will be taking questions from you after our main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box or raise a hand, and we will allow you to ask your question in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam for interactive activities. Now, without further ado, I invite our speaker to begin today's Vishwa Talks. Welcome, Goswamy ji. Prashant? Please put the video on Vishwa Talks.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, Goswamy ji. Please.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, it got little technical glitch. So,
yeah.
So sorry. Yes, please continue.
So we just introduced you, and I think you should move forward.
Yeah. Thank you very much for inviting me. And indeed, it is a great pleasure for me to participate with a variety of participants, those who have experience in different walk of life. And as it has been introduced in the beginning itself, that cyber space these days is almost like air necessary for our respiration. So without cyberspace, without cyber devices, without electronic and such type of devices, we cannot survive, whether it is mobile phone, internet, computer, and so on and so forth. So when such type of activity happens, naturally, criminal activity are also associated with them. And so is with cyberspace. So today we will be discussing in very brief what is the dimension of cybercrime. I am not going to talk about the police perspective. I will be just giving a very simple bird's eye view about cybercrime from the perspective of a common man, that how we can be alert, and we should be alert so that we may not be victim or we may not commit any crime unknowingly with others, right? So cybercrime for a common man is basically a crime which is being committed by any person by either using a cyber device as a tool or as a medium, or it may be a device which is being attacked. So it may be either a medium or a target. Both ways, a cyber device may be utilized, but cyber device has to be there, whether it is through internet, maybe intranet or whatsoever. So general way of defining cyber crime, I hope I could communicate to you. Now, briefly speaking, what kind of cyber crime one person may attack for or may encounter for. So number one is the identity theft. Somebody may use your identity in different manner, and then he may deface himself and can produce you on front and may act as a fraudulent person for various purposes. We will talk about what kind of frauds may be there. So first is the identity theft, number one crime. Another is different kind of frauds. Day in and day out, we come to know that a person has duped me for banking purpose, or somebody may say that I am such and such a friend and my purse has been stolen, so please send me money on this account and that. And as a benevolent person, we generally feel that he's the right person and we generally transfer funds, and later we know that it was a fraud. Then another third part, which is very important, is pornography, which is a very, very essential part to understand. Particularly, earlier it was thought that it is more, the children are more vulnerable for such type of crime. But these days there are plenty cases where even adult people of different age also get victimized, and sometimes they feel ashamed in sharing such type of activity, right? So pornography is yet another point. And the most important another part, apart from these three things, is that different type of document frauds may also be part of cybercrime these days. So document, because we use document in a different manner. So your document may be utilized, or other person may give you a fraudulent document by way of using cyberspace. So these are 3-4 type of crime. You may be listening some terms like spoofing, right? So all these terms are normally one way or other when a cyberspace is utilized for a purpose of duping or creating different type of fraud. So these terms may be varied, but somehow or other it is connected with some kind of means deceptive activity. So deception is the core with the purpose for whatever reason, right? These days, we normally are very active on Facebook or different, social media. And there, we are very happy to have different type of friends. Without knowing their background, we share different type of information. Where I am living, where I am going for my tourist purpose, where I am visiting, everything we are disclosing, right? Like a storytelling manner, minute-to-minute activity and all. There are instances, like say for example, if I write on my Facebook that today I am going to Nainital for my tourist purpose with family, then there is every likelihood that some miscreants, a mischievous person, may watch my house and he can plan some kind of organizing theft or something like that. These are the live instances. So why we disclose all things on the open format? If we want to communicate such type of information, are we communicating everybody in the world? Is it required? So the tagline here is that we should share information on cyberspace which are required. Don't share everything which is not required to share with everybody. Otherwise, you may land into trouble. So this is one tagline which I want to tell you. Another point is blindly, without knowing the background of a person, we generally accept friendship. It's not bad, you may do that, but do it selectively. Why we are making so many friends to whom we don't know? If you want to expand your friend circle or your friend list, at least look something on that wall of that particular person. Whether he has genuinely disclosed his identity, what kind of friend he has, what type of activity he or she is posting on the wall. So some kind of sense you will always find if you put little time, maybe a minute or two before clicking to have friend request accepted. Give some time. Don't just to add the number. Don't go and accept the friendship. So this is another point. Sometimes people used to gauge you that what kind of mentality you have. If they find that you are a very much religious type of person, you may be having some allurement or something, some kind of taste for some sexually oriented material or something like that. So they will selectively post such type of things on your platform. And in that, with some kind of photograph or some text or some file, they may put some program type of thing, which may completely take command of your device, maybe mobile phone, maybe your computer, and every data they may steal, or they may get parallel connection with your device, and they will be having all kind of access to your data, maybe your password, maybe your any other personal information, maybe your photograph or whatever you have. And then there is likelihood that they may cheat you or they may exploit you if they get something of that kind. So why we unwantedly expose ourselves with the unknown person? So on public platform, on social media, please do not share everything. Be very selective. Why you are posting a particular post, particular photograph, particular information, you should be clear. What is the purpose? Is it a information shareable? Is it a knowledge? Or what? Exactly. Exactly. So be cautious. Another point is that do not download everything. Suppose you get a mail on your mail account, maybe Gmail or Hotmail, whatsoever you are using. Just give a look what kind of mail it is, where from it has come, what exactly it is asking. Sometimes you got a lottery. Have you ever applied for a lottery? Why somebody is giving you $1 million? Why? So just give a thought. Don't get commanded by somebody and just do like a fool. So be very cautious when you are using the cyberspace. Another point which I want to make is that if you are getting something out of free without any cost, then you have to pay back something. Nobody is going to give you something without cost. There is encumbrance on everything, right? Even if we are using suppose Zoom or whatever, we are thinking that for 45 minutes or 30 minutes we are using. There are a lot of, expenses behind they are charging from us. Even our personal information, are a cost we are paying to them, because they ask us before giving access that can we use your photograph, can we use your data, can we use your this, that. So they are capturing everything, then only they are giving us some facility. So don't think that anything is free of cost. Nothing is in this world or in this universe is free of cost. You are paying charge either knowingly or unknowingly. Be very cautious on that, right? So what kind of cost you are giving, you must be aware a little bit. You may not be knowing everything, but don't think that, okay, it is free of cost. So think why it is free, what cost I am going to pay. If you have that kind of vision, I'm not saying that you will be master of the game, but you should be an awakened citizen, awakened user, awakened customer. Then probably a lot of things can be saved. You may not be trapped into these things, right? Now, not taking much of time, because I think that more time should be given for your query. So what to do? What kind of precaution we can take? Although precautionary list may be very, long, but I don't want to burden you much. I want to give you very selective, which you can remember easily. One thing you always do, that maintain, these days, normally everybody has 2 mobile numbers. Mail, you can easily open. If you are having only one, you may have second also, because there is no cost otherwise on making Gmail account or any mail account for that matter. So for your personal matters, like say, for example, you are using bank account, or you are getting your mobile number issued. So for your personal purpose, use some separate mail or separate mobile number as much as possible. Don't bring those mail IDs and as far as possible those mobile numbers in the public forum. Don't share it on Facebook. Don't share on your any public platform. If you are a very active social media player, use some different mail ID for that purpose. At least mail should be different. Don't give your mobile number on that until unless it is very much important. And if it is important, if possible, use the number which is not being used for your banking purpose, at least. Make sure about that. Okay. Then change password as frequently as possible. Second point, whenever you have some doubt that my device may be hacked or maybe some fishy things, immediately switch off it. And at least your mobile and your laptop should be switched off at least once in 24 hours. Ideally, mobile laptop should be switch off when you are not using, ideally speaking. Because if you switch off, then many connections which are falsified, which are fraudulent, have all reasons to be disconnected. But if you keep them continued, then you are being connected even if you have shut down. Shut down means you are not using your laptop, but it is on. So they will transfer the data, they will do many things which may be detrimental to your interest. So switch off your mobile or your laptop minimum once in 24 hours, minimum. If it is more, it is good. If you have some suspicion, then immediately switch off and then switch on. So that is my advice. Then as I said, that whenever you get any kind of password, say you made any transaction, you send some request, they send you password. When you complete transaction, better you delete that password. Don't leave any trace of that password for anybody. Although it is true that after some time, it may not be used by anybody, but there are so many information attached with that of the account number and many things back at the back of it. So better to, because in case your mobile is stolen or something happened, so many information kept lying in your data bank, which has the potential to be misused. Another point I want to make, I have seen my friends, even sometimes I also do this mistake, I am accepting it openly, that you have access of your mail ID on your laptop, on your mobile phone, and we do not switch off it. We do not switch off. Never leave your Gmail or any mail ID open on your platform if you are not using it. Your Gmail or any mail should only be open when you are using. Otherwise, you must off that mail. Log off. Okay, got this point? I hope I made it clear.
Yes.
Because if you are opening it, there are every likelihood that if they get access, so they do not need to have the password of your Gmail, because if they get access to your laptop, if your mobile phone, then your Gmail is open. So they can immediately change the password, everything of your bank account and whatnot. Everything they will change in a minute or so. So that becomes very easy for them. And there are instances in large number where Gmail was open, it was not log off, and the data was stolen, and a lot of loss were being made. And I tell you here that in bank, whether it is in India or across the world, if the fault lies with the customer for fraud, you will not get back the money fraudulently been means bypass from your account. So you have to prove that the fraud happened not because of my ignorance or my mistake. So that part you have to be very cautious, that if you say that my Gmail was open, okay, and my data was stolen, their bank has every right to say that it was because of your foolishness. So you have to fight a lot to get your money back. Suppose many times I have seen the victims saying that a person called me and they say that, look, your bank account will be closed, you share this thing, you please do this, I am calling from bank, and some complaint has come, this and that. And just because my bank account or my credit card, debit card may not be closed, in fear of that, we generally obey the dictates of that person. When you get such type of call, always keep one thing, that say that, please, I am busy with some meeting or some work, please give me your number, I will call you back. Or I will call to my manager. I know the bank manager. Even if you don't know, tell him that I know my bank manager, don't worry, I will call back my bank manager. he will immediately turn the color. He will try to scold you or doing something which you can easily guess that he is not a genuine person, right? But don't follow the dictates immediately. I have seen very well educated person. Once I tell you, if I was in Lucknow and a very senior doctor, he was very good friend and very intelligent person. Of course, doctor is, nobody can say that not an intelligent person. And he was incidentally head of the department of neurosurgery. So you can say that he was playing with the brain. So you can easily imagine that how intelligent he must be. He called me and said that, sir, my 40,000, my money has been transferred. I said, how? He said that I was driving and a call I received. I was somewhere, means thinking something probably I did not get. And he asked me something, I was started doing what he said. And in lieu of that, he asked my password and I shared. And when the moment I realized, by then I lost my 40,000 rupees. So what I mean to say here is that any one of us can be victim. Don't think that I am smart. You have to be careful all the time. That's what I mean to say. Even well-educated people get sometimes means victimized with such type of people, right? Now the question arises, although there are so many things to talk, but I will stop after 2-3 minutes so that you may get more time to talk, to get questions. One thing, suppose if any crime happens, what to do? That's very important part. These days, many of control rooms in every state or every district, we have control rooms. If you go to any district police office site, website, there also you have the provisions where you can write a message that this thing happened and your case get registered. This is one. Another point, you may go to police station and get your case registered. Sometime you may be told by the policeman sitting in police station that these days we have cyber thana. So you may please go to cyber thana. Then maybe you may have to go to cyber thana. But either in regular police station or in cyber police station, your case will be registered. In case it doesn't happen, suppose, I'm telling you the all possibility, then you may meet SP. If you are not able to meet, you can write a letter or you can write a mail to SP and you can follow that. So these are, and worst case is 156(3) of CRPC, that is through court. So these are 3-4 modus operandi through which you can get a case registered. But here the catch point is that merely getting a case registered is not enough. Ultimately, you want your money back. That's the point. And getting money back, there are two ways. One, as I told, that any fraud committed by any person is considered against a bank if the customer does not have evident negligence. Evident negligence. Suppose if you have shared your password, then bank has no reason to give you back the money. So as a prudent person, you should be aware. Even then, if some fraud happened, then it is considered it is against the system of the bank. That means it is the vulnerability of the bank security which was being compromised, which being challenged. And that is why bank is responsible for that. Okay, so if bank is paying you back, at least customer get money back. But the problem is still remain. The criminal is there. The money is being siphoned off. Only thing is that money is not being taken from your pocket. It is being taken from the bank's pocket, you can say. Now, question arises that there are a lot of problem and issues these days that suppose your money is, you are sitting in UP or may say Delhi, but money may have reached to Nigeria or maybe some other place. So getting that money back because of geographical boundaries, because of various, you can say, challenges in collection of evidence, across borders is a big challenge, right? And normally in district police is not that equipped some everywhere. I'm not saying that everywhere the problem is, but at many places, the local policeman may not be that equipped, may not be that much trained that they can trace and they can find out the culprit. But again, getting money in such cases is a big deal, big difficulty, big challenge. So we have to be very, very cautious and careful. And these days, a lot of other things, like another point which I want to make is this, what you call this Bitcoin and all. Bitcoin is in huge, no doubt, but it is not a nationalized currency. So you have to be very cautious. I am not saying that you use it or don't use it. It is your choice. But there is every likelihood that you may get into trouble maybe today or maybe after 10 years or maybe 2 years, because it is not a promise by any governmental authority. I have been to US for Fulbright in Cornell. I have attended few sessions, particularly in economics department there, financial experts globally. And recently one fellow from Washington University also, who is a very renowned fellow, I attended, and I asked this question as a security person, because I am a police person. So I always think that security of your money is the primary objective, whosoever is playing with it. So I asked that question, and he could not give the proper answer that how to secure the money of a common customer. If I invest my money, it is an investment actually, right? So how to protect? So that is also a kind of possible kind of crime which may be involved in it, right? So you have to be very cautious. Don't think just to beget money. If a money is, I tell you, as a police officer having more than now nearly 3 or you can say 3 decades of experience. If your money is multiplying exponentially, unusually, then you must think that how somebody is back me money so much. Suppose if somebody says that your money will be doubled in 2 or 3 or 4 years, and usually money cannot be doubled by a normal manner, by bank method or something, not less than 7 years or so, then you should think that how come, what is the device, what is the mechanism he can double my money. And this is the background of Ponzi schemes. They will give you a kind of allurement to few people for few months, maybe few days, maybe few years. They give you money so that large number of people get into trap, and one fine day when they have the huge amount, then they will evaporate, right? So with this, I close my talk, and I think I could make some sense in talking. I hope that whatever I discussed may be of some use to the audience. And now you are please ask your query, whatever comes to your mind. To the best of my ability, I will try to answer your questions, please. Yeah.
So just before we move into our question answers, I would like to request the audience to take 30 seconds to answer a poll for us. The purpose of the poll is to help us understand you a little better, so we can curate your topics that we bring to you. You can also let us know in the chat box how you found out about WishwaTalks. If you are a WishwaTalk subscriber, heard about it from your friends or family, or found out about the event on social media. While you take this survey, I would like to express my gratitude to everybody who has joined us today with their presence and making this webinar a success. I extend my gratitude to our respected speaker, Dr. G.K. Goswamy ji, for taking time from his extremely busy schedule to come and talk about this event. For me, it has been an eye-opener. I always knew that although I'm educated, I'm not very I would still consider myself illiterate when it comes to computer matters, but simple things like, closing offing a computer, closing the Gmail page. I mean, if anybody puts us saying I won a lottery, of course I wouldn't respond. But these are little things that we had no clue about, that we should close the Gmail account, that we should close our computers, that even simple things like Bitcoin has no sovereign guarantee. Ponzi schemes, of course, we will think about it. But I always thought if there was a fraud, the bank would easily come and give me. But the question is, why would they give if I was careless? Question is, am I following the required necessary precautions such that I am not being careless? So these are things which have been a huge eye-opener for all of us. And a person with so much of experience, you taking your time to talk to us about this, we really appreciate it. There are a few questions. One, Ms. Anju, will you please unmute yourself and ask the question? If possible, please be on video.
Good afternoon. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I thank you for this enlightenment, which is a need of our actually, sir. सर मुझे ये जानना था कि जैसे डिजिटल बिजनेस खोलने के लिए क्या क्या हमें प्रिकॉशंस लेने चाहिए, क्योंकि मैंने एक बार डोमेन लिया था और मालवेयर देखते हैं हम, कहीं कुछ लेते हैं। मुझे आईटी की नॉलेज हाफ है और मैं कहूंगी कि मतलब ऐसा लगता है कि है ही नहीं, इतना बड़ा डेप्थ में है आईटी भी। और जबकि मैं सोचती हूँ कि लाइनक्स ही होना चाहिए विंडोज से, मतलब आई डोंट नो वेदर आई एम राइट और रॉन्ग, बट मुझे लगता है कि लाइनक्स इज लाइक अ लिटिल मच मोर बेटर एंड सिक्योर। तो आई डोंट नो हमें क्या क्या प्रिकॉशंस लेने चाहिए। जैसे अगर हमें डोमेन लेना है अपना, मैंने आपको बताया मालवेयर उसमें देखा अटैच है और समझ में नहीं आया कि लाइक हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू हैपन। और देन वी hear of so many things like which are really scary actually। कब हम न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं तो कभी कभार हम ये जो हम ये सुनते हैं, फाइनेंस वाला तो हम बहुत कुछ सुनते हैं, हम क्या कहते हैं डाटा ब्रीच के बारे में सुनते हैं और इन सब चीजों के बारे में सुनते हैं। तो इनके बारे में भी हमारे को गाइडेंस होनी जरूरी है। हम उसमें क्या करें, एज अ विक्टिम भी क्या करना चाहिए?
Yeah, ma'am, your question is a very pertinent question, no doubt, but it has a lot of, wide ramifications, right? So it cannot be a tailor-made answer because IT is such a sector which change with every moment, right? So my suggestion at this moment to summarize your query is, number one, always buy the product or software from the genuine company. Normally, say for example, the window or some softwares we generally download free of cost. The question, as I said in the beginning itself, why they are giving us free of cost? Are they fool? No, they are not. So if you buy a software from a genuine company, then there is a possibility that any mischief, any malware, or any kind of possibility which can damage your interest may be curtailed, right? So this is point one. Another point you said about how to go for business and all. So you need to have advice of the expert for the area you are venturing in. Yeah, right. There may be firewalls, there may be another security softwares and all. So what kind of work you exactly, how sensitive it is, how much your information are sensitive, maybe related to your business, maybe related to your design, maybe related to your intellectual property. So many things are involved. So for every type of business, for every type of idea, you need to have a different set of safety walls, safety measures for digital world. So you have to have a proper advice, proper expert advice to run a business or for your requirement to be addressed. I think.
And the second,
You need to unmute yourself.
We normally we don't log out from the mobile phones. You said कि we should log out.
No, ma'am, I said that suppose you are using your email or any system which has your personal data, for example. And mail is very important because mail is generally mail and your what do you say, mobile number. These two things are connected with your bank account because money is normally being attached with your bank account, right? So these two things should be at your top priority for your protection purpose. So don't share your mobile number too much, which is being shared with your bank. And same is with the mail. What I was saying that suppose you are using a computer or you are using a mobile phone and you have opened your Gmail on computer or mobile phone and it is open, you have not switched off. I am not saying switch off the mobile. I am saying log off the Gmail.
Okay.
Log off the Gmail on that.
Okay.
Many times we generally open it many days together.
That is what my question was, that on the phone we normally keep it open only.
So you please switch it off. Not mobile phone, but log off from the Gmail or these type. Likewise for Facebook. So always use Facebook with login and log out. Don't remain it open. Otherwise, it will be more vulnerable. That's what I mean to say. Your data, the chances of your data to be steal is more if it is open because 24/7 it is open. Otherwise, what he has to do, he has to enter into it by way of finding your password. Many times, even people used to put password in their own mobile number. You just see password. Sometimes they write password on their mail. So these are very dangerous things. Like your bank account, you have some bank account password, right? And you write in Gmail, which is open. Now we can easily access your bank account password and can mischief anything, right? So be cautious, be careful.
Sir, about the passwords, each of us keep forgetting our passwords, and there are a lot of apps like Wallet Watch and some apps which put your passwords. Do you advise us to use these because we need to keep them somewhere?
See, I tell you one thing, although may not be necessary that every bank, but few banks has app, right? And if you use that app, say for example, I use Kotak Bank. I am not advertising here for bank at all, but because I am using, I have some points, and at some point of time, last 5-7 years back when they consulted me, so some idea I also gave them. So if you go to that particular bank site, so there is always, you can switch off your ATM card. Switch off means if you go, then even if your card is misplaced or somewhere somebody has, and even if they have the password, so they cannot use it unless you have to open your ATM, your bank app on your mobile, and then you go into it, right? Log in, and then switch on that card, and then you can use. There you have the the option for changing the PIN also. So I was there for about a couple of months in US. So whenever I used to go for this thing, taking money from ATM, right? Sometime. So I always use that. I change my password, and because suppose I put whatever, I immediately will remember. Suppose I have given 1010 or 1020 or 6959, whatever, I will remember. And when you switch off, you remove that, and then switch off. Whenever you go again, put again the new number. So this is one way. And like there, at least can't we remember even 4-digit. That's another point I want to say, that this IT has made us really completely, I don't know whether we start calling the mobile phone smart, but are we really getting retrograde? Are we getting ourselves non-smart now?
Yes.
So we have to think, can we not remember even 4-digit? Even 4 numerical numbers like 45, 35 or whatsoever. So we should just think how we are retrograding ourselves. That's another challenge. And here I want to say that probably this AI, we are all very fancy of using artificial intelligence these days. Everybody talking, even I am a legal person also. I am listening that even judgments will be done by AI, use of AI. I really feel very sorry to say, human brain cannot be replaced. Everything, whatever we are using is to assist us. They cannot be master of us. Until unless the brain is master, that technology is going to help us. The day it overcome our brain, I think that will be the end of the humanity.
Right.
Nothing should overpower our brain. That's what I mean to say.
Okay. So, another question from Ms. Durga. I work in a university. Our administration puts up all our details, including our date of birth, on our website. AICTE asks for details of account number, date of birth, etc., which is sent from the university. If the details fall in wrong hands, it will be very difficult. Government should take care not to display these details.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree that few, particularly date of birth, particularly your Aadhaar card number, particularly your bank account number. I think all these personal details should not be on public consumption. I think like even your bank account, when they communicate to you through SMS or something, they do not share your complete bank account. They give only 4 digits last and in the beginning XXX type. So I think this is a very good question, Siraj. I totally agree that everything should not be shared on public platform. Yes.
One Ms. Motre Baumik, there's a question. It is alleged that mobile servers are greatly responsible for selling customer data to fraudsters. How can one ensure this doesn't happen? As you said, these days, technology is an integral part of our life, and we are puppets in the hands of these servers. Orange, Vodafone.
Yeah, that's very important question. And that's what I said you, that nothing is free of cost. That's the problem. They are selling, I don't know how much they are selling, to whom they are selling, but the point is that suppose these footprints, what madam is saying, that suppose if I go for booking a air ticket to any place, immediately you start getting so many messages that please book this, please book that. It means that my number is being shared by that particular airlines to everybody. It is in the public domain. So yeah.
There are also apps which are saying that if any company has shared your data, that we can go and request them to remove our data. So when we use those apps, like, is it safe?
No, I don't think that they can remove every data, because I remember when I joined as chief of ATS, that mobile number, a government mobile number was published some time back when this COVID was a challenge. So police officers' numbers were published on websites and all. Then the problem was that from different part of country, people starts calling still on that number. That where from I will get this help. Suppose from Gujarat they are calling, I am chief of ATS. How do I respond to them? I cannot say that I have no clue. I am from this place, I am from that place. He has 10 questions. So I tried the way you are trying, that can I remove this mobile number from these sites? Answer was completely no. It is on so many websites and so many places that it is practically impossible to remove from all places because you do not have the control at one point. How do you know that where this number had been published? You don't know. Likewise, you do not know that where they have served. So, and secondly, the problem is that who is controlling the data? We do not know. So to whom should we write? And it is not a personal data or an individual. I'm telling as a public servant, as a senior police officer, many times in a crime, we do not know many times that to whom should we approach to get the data, because we do not know exactly where the server is and how many channels are being utilized to protect this data in which server or to save this data. Another point I want to make, that many of us are having this opinion and it is being generally being projected that, say for example, WhatsApp, that WhatsApp is encrypted. Nobody can listen. This is completely a misnomer. I cannot hear it. I cannot decrypt it. Agreed. But nobody can decrypt it is wrong. The reason is when there is encryption, then there is decryption also. That means there is key which encrypt, and at the end when it is going at the receiving end, it will be decrypt. So those key, the person who is holding those key can anytime see it or listen it. Got my point? So what I mean to say is that if you are on digital platform, nothing is hidden. Always take granted. You are public figure. You becomes public property. So you have to be cautious. The precaution is better than cure. You have to be very, very alert when you are using public space. It is a public space basically. It is digital space is not yours. It is for everybody. It has no boundary. It has no control. It is not property of one person. So you are exposing yourself to the globe. So you have to be very, very cautious, careful, particularly because time is little. So I just want to give 2 minutes for pornography. My dear friends, pornography is a very, very challenging issue these days. As I said earlier, that no age, no sex, no place, no jurisdiction is far from this problem. So only thing again I said that prevention is better than cure. Don't get allure of this all dirty games, dirty things. Like your date rape. Date rape, this data in America, in many other countries. Can you just believe that recently I was in Cornell about 15 days back or 10 days back, you might have heard that in parties, the date rape was happened. And country like US and university like Cornell has banned the nightclub parties there in university.
Okay.
Can you just believe? The problem is that much. So many problems, so many incidents never being reported because of so many challenges, because of shame, because of many limited problems and others. Another point, that if somebody, how can you be intimate with anybody, whether it is digital platform also? So if you are talking to a unknown person, be always very cautious. I have seen many persons, you don't know, maybe a female name. Who knows who is that? Maybe a photograph. Who knows who is using which photograph on that? So never take it as a human being. It is a machine actually. So don't use your sentiment, your things with a machine. It is a machine only. Think over that. I don't say much about that. I think I'm little, I'm not going little deep into it, but the problem is very, very grave on these platforms for personal reasons. I have seen long back in 2012 when I was in UN, earlier around 4 or 5 years back, in 2007, I was SSP Agra. I got a call. I was in Ghaziabad working with the UN at that time. I got a call around at 10 o'clock in the night. And a child, maybe my 12, 13 year old, was calling that, "Uncle, I am going to die. I am going to commit suicide." Can you believe at 10 o'clock? That time I was not a police officer also. Means I was on deputation. And somebody is calling and I also become part of it, because suppose tomorrow if he commits suicide, suppose, and last call will be mine with him. Then everybody will ask me, why have he called you? What was the reason? Right? So I was also a little scared. So I told that, hold on, what is the problem? And first of all, to whom you are talking? He gave my name. Then I was a little more scared. I don't know who is this fellow. And he's saying that I am talking to you. So I said, what is the problem? Cutting story short, the problem was that he came in contact with a person who appears to be a girl of her age, that he or she said to him. And after some chatting, sometime maybe few days or something, like they become little more intimate, and she asked her, that she means inverted comma she, that you get naked, I want to see you, this and that. And that boy did it. And the moment he did it, he said that now you are being clicked and you will be aired. Right? And then he said that, oh, how can I face my friends, my parents, this and that. Right? So these type of problems are very common. Although what answer I gave him and how I console him and all things, I don't know whether I should share on this public dais or not. But such type of things happens with many people. People with same do not tell. People are being exploited. People are being exploited sexually. The girls have been, the people have been exploited to pay money, to pay many things. So what I mean to say that please be careful and cautious when you are using public platform like digital platform. Be very, very cautious. Yes.
Would you advise the girls who are blackmailed or the boys who are blackmailed to go and complain in the cybercrime Thana?
Yes, I think they should. But again, it depends actually the color of the society, the tenor of the society, the response of the society. But I think the girls should muster courage, and they should tell their teachers or maybe family members, maybe friends, so that they should support them. And such type of people should be exposed. Because if you keep such, then he will definitely exploit many more. Yes.
There's a question from Ms. Nirali Amit Shah. What can we do if suddenly we find unknown transactions done through our credit card, which we have not done?
Yeah, that's the first and most foremost thing is, immediately, if you have the control in your hand, then immediately close that ATM. Because if, as I said, that you are having the digital account, right? And there are options that you can put off your ATM card. Then immediately do that. If you do not have that access, then immediately inform your bank. That's the another point. Immediately. If you have the bank manager number, good. If you do not have, the helpline number is there. Don't miss it as at the earliest. And if there is a possibility, then next day or whenever you have the limited time, you must go and visit the bank branch. And meanwhile, you can also alert and communicate to the control room, police control room, and also can lodge the FIR with the police or the cyber thana, whatsoever is the channel to address such type of thing. But you have to do it as earliest as possible, so that the damage. Another point, in India, this method is little less in practice, but in US, with the transactions do not materialize until 24 hours. Like say, for example, if you go and buy something, so till 24 hours, if you report back to the bank that I have not made this transaction, then money will be held, meaning thereby that transaction will be completed after 24 hours only, right? So those type of bank transaction facilities should be made available in India also. I think these things are creeping in our system as well. But if it comes, then you have the window of 24 hours. But again, you have to check. Sometimes what happens that we do not activate SMS system. So please activate SMS system in our bank accounts, right? Many times bank do not send SMS. That is also, but in case you do not get SMS, please keep writing. And if customers are aware, they have the reason to pressurize the bank that they should make the system effective. They should send SMS as soon as you have a transaction. Suppose if you get a fishy transaction, then you will get your SMS. So you will get alert. Otherwise, many times I have seen people, oh, I came to know the fraudulent bank transaction after few months. Then it is too late. Bank will also say, where were you sleeping? Police will also say, where were you? So these type of, then the negligence comes on your head, and then problem will be more. So be cautious on these type of things. And SMS alert is very, very important. Gmail alert, SMS alert, these type of things should be activated.
So you said have two Gmails and phone numbers. Now, I was just looking at the number of places where we use. One is on e-commerce, that is Amazon, or when we are purchasing. Two is when you are register of companies or you're a director somewhere, you have to give a mail ID. Three is your profession. So in these, the profession will anyway have a separate mail ID. But when you say bank account, but we are also using this bank account for making purchases on Amazon and all. So are you saying use for your credit card a separate telephone number, whereas when you are buying on Amazon, use a separate phone number?
I think it is a better thing, because you see, the Gmail or bank account or any mail ID for that matter, maybe Hotmail or Yahoo, whatever, is not necessarily similar which you are giving for Amazon purchase and your bank. It's not necessary. They ask the detail of your address, your password and other things. So you can very well use the other number for transaction with Amazon, not necessarily which you have shared with your bank account and all, right? Number one. Number two, here another important catch, you have important question. Sometime, if you remember, if you go for purchasing Amazon, they ask, should I remember your means ATM details? Never use yes, never. Because then you are vulnerable. Everything is open. Suppose that man somehow get access to your mobile phone or your computer by some fraudulent means, then everything will be done without knowing your bank account details. Simply you, because it happens with me. I was using my I used once Amazon. I frankly speaking, I never know that whether I put to remember my ATM detail or not. Next time when I purchased the book by Amazon, immediately they said that your transaction is complete. I was amazed how. Then I look back, then it was my account number and everything was saved. Then I deleted it. So many times we don't know even. I don't know how they calendar stylely they do it. But you have to be very, very cautious and careful when you are using all these type of platforms.
Many times they say cookies and terms and conditions approve, and because we want to make life easy, we just press yes.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, first of all, as a precaution, I can say that read as much as possible. Don't take things very casual and light one. And never, even if you are using something, they ask that for this transaction or forever type. So make rule that only for this transaction, not forever.
Okay.
Right. So next time when you do, they can ask again, then you have to press again. Do or press it once again. But don't go for anything which is forever. They say that should I remember your password? That is again, if you go for Google or whatever, or you go for Facebook, you go for your own bank account even. So your computer will ask at the right side that should I remember this password? Always say no, no, no. Never keep your password remembered by any device. It should be your brain which should remember, nothing else.
But these days there are 15 places where they ask you for passwords and we don't remember. So we tell the computer.
See, I tell you, make two type of passwords. One is vital and another is non-vital. Vital means like your bank account, your personal details, those I call vital. Non-vital means, suppose if you are just going to see, say for example, Amazon purchase, and there it is. So make some kind of like your village name, 1, 2, 3, then you can start adding something like that, right? And sometimes they may ask that if you have forgot password, then you can recollect or redesign the password. So these are non-vital passwords. So you can remake them. And there you use the mail, which is your secondary mail, not the vital mail.
Can we also do this, have limited amount in a particular card, maybe just 20,000, and use that online and have a separate card separately?
That's another good way of protecting your large share of money. I think everybody, like when you send your own children to school or university, everybody I think do the same, that in the purse or in the bank account of child, you generally keep 10,000, 15,000, 20 like that. And we keep adding whenever required. I think not a bad idea.
Another thing we've noticed is when you're online, whether it is a LinkedIn, even good platforms like LinkedIn, they'll say, okay, we're offering you some card. And then you see that they're asking you suddenly for your credit card details. Should we give? Should we stay out of such things, even if they're valid platforms?
I think to the best of my understanding, I always believe why they are giving me a free of cost thing. So I think we should not get allured with this thing, because if we are allured with this thing, okay, out of 10, 8 may be right, but if I get trapped in 2, then my loss will be more.
Yes.
So you have to have this habit that if I have not paid, why should I get? There is nothing free in this world.
Another question, sir, is now these ROC and all which are taking our telephone numbers and emails, they're publishing it outside in the internet. So that cannot be our bank account details. Phone number.
See, as I said, that this should be your non-vital information. Like there, like in where you do not have any control, that where they may publish. Always give non-vital, identifiers.
Okay.
Your mobile number, your Gmail or something which is not under your control. Likewise, one more point I want to give you, and another point which is very vital to tell you, that on one, when you go for buying a SIM card, on one form, you can get 2 mobile SIMs, We have got one case, Chinese fraud case in 2021 in UP ATS, where we have recovered, I think, 15,000 plus SIM cards. 15,000 plus. In the beginning, we were also unaware what they were doing with this whole bloody fraud of getting these cards, right? So cutting story short, I don't want to go to detail of that case particularly, but how they were procuring. they were having nexus with the vendors. And suppose if I go, I fill up a form that please give me this number. They will give me one number, one SIM, and they will also issue the second one in my name. I am not aware. Many times, even till date, many times, and many of you might be feeling the same thing, that sometime you will getting a message that I am GK Goswamy, but it will be Mr. Sumit, your electricity bill is this. How to do about this? Right? So they generally give a mobile number. They generally give a mail ID, or you have to locate, suppose it is electricity department. Please find out the control room number or mail number and write that this number does not belongs to me. Neither this particular electric connection is in my name, so that you will, suppose tomorrow there is any fraud or something, you can always claim that nothing was related to me.
Okay. I also keep getting one ICICI credit card details every month. I replied to ICICI people, this is not my credit card. Don't send it to me. And still I keep getting it, even till today.
That is automation.
Yes.
So sometimes this automation creates hell in our life. So they generally put until unless the matter is resolved, periodically they keep sending you the emails or message or something. So I think you have to talk to the helpline or maybe the complaint cell or something where you can find some solution of such type of issues.
Another thing is in Hyderabad, I remember speaking to a police officer for some reason while I was there, and he was saying of late the petty crime has really come down, and more than 70-80% of the crime that is happening here is more about cyber crimes rather than petty crimes. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, that's very true. You can say the financial frauds, you can say, for different ways. So in other way, I can tell you that nowadays the trend is from blue crime to white crime, white collar crime, you can say. The opposite of white collar crime is the blue collar crime. Blue collar crime, the jeans, how jeans was introduced and all. Jeans was basically introduced for labor work, so that you need not to wash every day and all, right? And a very thick cloth which will long last. But now it becomes fashion. And now not only fashion, even the torn and different type of challenged jeans and whatnot we are using. So the point here is that nowadays, in other words, the petty offense, not only petty offense, but road crime is declining. Even the road gundas, they are involved in contracts because that is white, that is easy. If you go and loot a person on road, there is a possibility that somebody may hit you, somebody may kill you. Here you becomes a very white collared person, right? And now you are involved in getting contract, and there you mint money very quickly, right? And then nexus with the bureaucrat, nexus with different power centers and all will again help them. So there is a trend from rowdy crime to so-called educated or white collar crime, right? So I perceive that fraudulent crime is very, very easy. People are sitting somewhere, say, for example, you are having some knowledge of cyber space. And these days, education is not necessary. By practice, the people who are not very well educated are very fast and very sharp in cyber space. And they are much vulnerable to involve in cyber crime, right? So they touch, suppose 100 persons. Say they get mobile number anywhere, right? You may go for telephone directory or whatever, you get so many numbers, right? And you start calling that, look, your bank account, what is your bank account, this and that. If they find person is very smart, then they will cut short. But if they find that a person can be easily, duped, then they start talking and get so many information. Then other person after 4 or 5 days will start getting him into trap. And say if they start with 100 persons, and if they could trap 10 persons, they will make money very quickly, right? So fraudulent money is easier way to get money, difficult to trace. Even if you are traced, then you are sitting in very different places. So identifying them is also very difficult. So it is easier and means in favor of the perpetrators. That's the reason.
Is the government making amendments, changes in the law to deal with such crimes?
See, I think we have a lot of legal, facilities, legal provisions. There is no problem. We have IT Act, fully developed IT Act, right? Only thing is how to implement and whether we have the manpower of investigation for trial sufficient enough to deal such type of crime timely. That is the problem. We have scarcity of resources in terms of qualified and expert manpower.
So recently we had a talk on police reforms on WishwaTalks. And as you said, the same issue was put forward that we need trained manpower in the police system. So we at WishwaTalks had approached a university and we were talking to them. Why is it that you all don't have just like a BCom, like a Bachelor's of Commerce or for medicine? Why can't we have a training center for training the police so that people who apply for jobs in police will be better trained to handle whether it is cybercrime or forensic. There are a variety of areas that they can be trained in. So they said it's not lucrative to have these courses because as an educational institution, when we promise our students jobs and the only person who can take these jobs is the government, and the criteria for getting into jobs into the police department is very different from knowledge. So our students will not get job just because they're educated or trained in becoming qualified to be a police. What is your thought process on that?
I think I do not agree. Majority of things which you said, I think it is a misnomer. I don't know how this perception was carried out. I can tell you few things. It is not boasting, but empirically I can tell you, and now I have good experience, sufficient experience to support my standpoint. Number one, we have the best training facility in India as far as police training is concerned. The best. You compare, I have visited so many academies in US recently. I'm not talking about, I have come only a few days back. And I have visited so many places. I can tell you about the judiciary also. I can tell you, so I am not saying that who is good or who is bad. I am only talking about in the challenge. I am not saying that this is, rather saying good or bad. I always say these are the strength and these are the challenges. I don't say even the weakness. So if you see the challenges of even the US system, I think if I compare here, you will find in 10 minutes that we are far better in many fields. Can you just believe that a judge can be a person who has no legal background, who is not legally trained? Can you believe? Yeah, said yes or no?
Difficult to believe.
Difficult to believe, but this is reality in US.
Okay.
Any person can be a judge, and it is not selected, it is elected.
Oh.
Can a judge be elected?
Oh.
But in US, yes. So what I mean to say here is that nothing is perfect. Nothing. We have always like Swarg. Have ever anybody has gone to Swarg? The heaven, I mean to say. None of us have visited Swarg or heaven, but we always have a hypothetical scenario. Oh, everything in heaven must be the best. Likewise, it is the Western world. Western world for us is like a heaven, which we never visited, but only have a presumptive theory. So we have to be realistic. What I mean to say here is, cutting story short, number one, we have good police. We need better leaders. So it is the leadership which matters. Normally people say we have resource crunch. I do not believe this. I always say, first tell me whatever you have you utilized them optimally? So optimal utilization of resources is the most important part of our system. Everywhere you go, we do not have this, we do not have that. I always say, what you have, are you utilizing it optimally? So audit of man and material is the need of the day. Do you go to anyone, any institution, everybody will say, I need this, I need this. I say, good. What you have, are you sure? Are you utilizing it properly? Then you will find answer will be in 8 out of 10, no. So this is one. Let me come to police. Police has its own problem in India. There is no doubt about it. It is corrupt, so many other things, right? But as far as saying that we are not having training centers, we have the excellent training center. Can you believe that a policeman is being selected out of thousands and thousands of people? So in US, there is no selection process. They just take whosoever comes. The person who is a constable in the day is a house guard in the night, because they are very least paid.
Oh.
Least paid.
Okay.
There is no training properly. There is no coordination. The difference between them and us is, because I think we have digressed, but let me just complete in 2-3 sentences. They develop system. We always break system. Wherever we go, we say the person who was before me has done nothing. I am the only person who is doing. Whether it is top leadership in any institution, from top to down, this is our mindset. There they work as system. Individual is the part of system. Individual has no face. Even if it is the top leader of that organization. Here everybody say, oh, but only I am working. The day I came, after that some work has started. This is the difference. And when another person comes, he do the same. So we have no system in place. Otherwise, we have the highest level of, zeal to work.
Yes.
Highest level.
Yes.
We have multitasking orientation in our mind.
Yes.
There are so many things to talk about. I
I
think
agree with you, sir, because I remember I lost some jewelry in Switzerland. I put a police complaint. They said, just take it from your insurance. I mean,
forget about it. And
forget
if somebody says here, you will abuse them like anything.
True.
There you cannot say even a single word.
Yes.
That's
True.
the difference. I am not protecting. We have thousands of challenge problems, but still we are functioning.
Yes. Sir,
Right.
one last question.
Yeah.
One last question from Ms. Peru Raghavan. What is phishing?
Yeah,
PHI.
phishing, yes. Phishing is basically a kind of fraud. Phishing is basically to dupe you, like sending something which is, looking like, say, for example, like Reebok. right? But some spelling is missing or something like. So it is a kind of deceptive activity to dupe you in different manner by sending some email, like say a person is sending you email from your bank, but the bank ID is not there, but you feel that it is from bank or it is from an individual, right? So when this type of deception is there, this process of duping is called phishing.
Thank you so much, sir. You've really enlightened each of us. We have a lot of people acknowledging you. One Miss Jyoti Singh had said, very informative session. Thank you so much. Anju has said, thank you and a lot of gratitude. Vidya has said, useful information, sir. Thank you. Sabita Shetty said, thank you so much for the valuable points you've given, which we are not aware. So they're going on and on
Thank
and
you very
on.
much.
Thank you so much for taking this time, much needed in today's day. Even people like us, you know, the little we know also, we can at least 70% or 80% of what you told, we were not aware.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
At least I could reach to you people. And I think these kind of awareness sessions are very important, not only for cyber crime, but for general walk of life. And I always believe that as we read at our means elementary education like geography, history, and others, I think legal studies should also be introduced to some extent, so that we should be aware what is happening around us, because everybody is either victim or perpetrator in one way or other if we are deficient of legal knowledge. Thank you very much once again, and have a good night.
I'd like to just tell you all that the upcoming sessions at Vishwa Talks will be on the coming Saturday. We are having one talk by Mr. on ecology and environment from Mr. Gopal Raitata. He's the co-founder of Goshunya. And we have on November 26th, the next Saturday, from Dr. Subha Ramaswamy. So please do attend the next webinars, please. Thank you so much. Please share them with your friends and family. Breakout rooms, Akhilesh.